which can be seen without the help of any instrument, but of course it is fun to have a telescope. A small one or a pair of binoculars is all you want for the beginning. Practice using your telescope in daytime by setting it on distant hills or buildings. When you actually view the stars, you will need only to push the eyepiece a little further into the tube to make the picture clear and sharp. Keep the telescope steady and start sighting the object across the top of the tube before you look through the eyepiece. If you are using a star chart at night, have a dim torch ready. Do not dazzle your eyes once they have become accustomed to the darkness. The Earth and the Solar System: Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, the Sun, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The Earth, from which we view the world around us, is a large ball about 8,000 miles across. Its surface is wrinkled with mountains and valleys, and more than 2/3 of it is covered with water. Enclosing it all is a blanket of air called the its central regions that nuclear energy is produced there naturally, just as it is artificially in a hydrogen bomb explosion. Hydrogen is the most plentiful material in the sun and is a very economical fuel for the supply of light and heat. The sun has been shining for many thousand million years, and yet it has enough hydrogen left to keep it shining for an even longer time to come. The sun's face. It is even more dangerous to use a telescope for looking at the sun. Instead, you should follow the same method as with the pinhole. Let the sun's light pass through the telescope onto a screen behind. By moving the eye end in and out, you can get a clear picture of the sun projected on the screen. A large picture of the sun often shows up sunspots, dark blots on the sun's face, which do not last long, but appear and disappear, usually in a matter of days or at most weeks. They indicate storms in the gases at the sun's surface, and they are particularly plentiful every 11 years. The next crop is due in 1969. On rare occasions, spots become large enough to be plainly seen without the help of any instrument. All stars, if you could look at them at close quarters, would look similar to the sun. Some stars are bigger, some smaller, but all are hot balls of gas which shine by nuclear energy in their interiors. So this illustration is movement of sunspots across the sun's face over 9 days. Here is a close-up of some sunspots, and below how to project the sun through a telescope. The moon. Our nearest neighbour in space is the moon. It is 240,000 miles away and has already been reached by rockets from the Earth. Its whole surface is only about the size of Africa, and it is completely dry land. The moon shines by reflecting some of the sun's light falling on it. It goes round the Earth once a month, and while it does, we see more or less of its sunny side. Its phase changes from crescent to full moon to crescent again. A new moon is always seen in the west after sunset, with its bright crescent lying towards the sun. Sometimes, along with the bright new moon, we noticed a dim full moon. This is the Earth shine. That means sunlight reflected from our bright Earth and shining on the dark part of the moon, just as moonlight lights the Earth at night. As the month goes by, the moon moves eastwards, away from the sun, and at the end of the month, we see the last thin crescent at morning in the east, near the rising sun. The lunar landscape. The moon shows up as a particularly interesting object in a telescope. The best time to look at it is when it is about half full. Because of this phase, the slanting rays of the sun illuminate the mountains along the straight edge down the middle of the moon, throwing long shadows on the ground and making the landscape stand out clearly. There are mountain ranges there, about the same height as mountains on the Earth, and wide, smooth plains called seas, which look less bright than the surrounding rough country because they reflect less light. It is these which cause the pattern of the man in the moon. Most interesting of all are the craters of circular shape which are dotted all over the moon's face, many of which are believed to have been formed by large meteors crashing there in the distant past. Neither air nor water exists on the moon. There is no rain, wind or weather there, and of course no life. It is a dead, silent world. The moon too keeps the same face turned towards the Earth, which explains why the same is always there. Morning and evening stars. When you see what looks like a brilliant star in the west or southwest in the evening, shining all alone in the sky before the other stars appear, it is almost certainly the planet Venus. Here. When it is not an evening star, it is a morning star in the east or southeast before sunrise. It alternates between evening and morning, spending 7 or 8 months in each, with only a short absence in between. Venus is about the same size as our Earth and is next to us in the Sun system. Being nearer the Sun, it is hotter and is covered all over with a coat of thick white clouds. Through a telescope, Venus shows changing phases like the Moon, according as it moves round the Sun. If you have a clear view of the western horizon on a spring evening, you may spot the tiny planet Mercury. It is almost impossible to see it at other times. It is actually not much bigger than the Moon, and like the Moon, is an airless, lifeless globe. Jupiter. A very brilliant planet seen at night is sure to be Jupiter. It looks like Venus, but while Venus can only be a morning or evening star, Jupiter can appear at any hour from sunset to dawn and can take up any position from east through south to west. Though 500 million miles away from the Sun, Jupiter is extremely bright on account of its enormous size, as big in bulk as all the other planets put together. Far away from the Sun's heat, it is locked in a crust of thousands of miles of solid ice and is covered with an atmosphere of heavy, poisonous gases. In a telescope or binoculars, Jupiter looks like a bright sixpence with 4 little dots of light nearby. These are Jupiter's main moons. There are altogether 12, and like our own moon, they go round the planet continually. If you make a drawing of the positions of the moons, you will see how much they have moved when you observe them again the following night. Mars. Though not always conspicuous, the planet Mars can be recognised from its strikingly red colour. Its brightness varies greatly. Every 2 years its journey round the Sun brings it unusually close to the Earth, and in those years, 1965, 1967, etc., it is particularly noticeable. Viewed through a telescope, Mars is a disappointing sight. This is because it is small, hardly more than half the size of the Earth. Its orange-red colour is due to the sandy deserts which cover most of its surface. White caps can be seen near the poles of the axis round which Mars rotates, which remind us of the snowy polar regions on our own Earth. On Mars, however, it is only hoarfrost, and this melts away quickly during the summer. Like Earth, Mars has its 4 seasons. When it is winter on one hemisphere, it is summer on the other, just as on our planet. Water is scarce on Mars, so is oxygen, the part of the air which we need for life. There may well be living things on Mars, but they can only be simple plants like mosses, which do not need much water or oxygen to keep them alive. And this picture is Mars seen through a telescope, South Pole at top. Winter, below, summer, in its southern hemisphere. Saturn will be in a part of the sky where there are few bright stars, which makes it easier to recognise. Seen from the Sun, Saturn lies beyond Jupiter and is like Jupiter, another large and icy planet. Through a telescope it looks remarkably beautiful, having bright hoops or rings circling round it. These rings are made of millions of ice-covered pebbles, which move around Saturn like so many million moons. Apart from its rings, Saturn owns 9 proper moons, of which the largest, Titan, can be seen with a small telescope. Beyond Saturn are 3 smaller planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. They are even colder than Saturn, being further away from the Sun. Comets. Apart from planets, the Sun has another family of quite a different kind, the comets. They too move round the Sun in regular tracks or orbits, but whereas planets move in paths which are very nearly circular, a comet's orbit is long and narrow, so that it spends the greater part of its time in the dark, distant regions of the solar system. Only for a short part of each circuit is a comet near the Sun. Unlike planets, comets are not solid bodies, but loose swarms of small icy particles. When near the Sun, the ice evaporates in the Sun's heat, the comet begins to glow and becomes visible. There are probably many millions of comets in the solar system, though very few of them become illuminated, and only on occasional one is bright enough to be seen with the naked eye. It can be a spectacular sight, a bright head with a feathery tail sweeping upwards from it. The tail is made of gas blown out of the comet by the Sun's rays. Once the comet moves away from the Sun, the tail disperses and the comet fades away into darkness once more. Meteors and meteorites. When we speak of shooting stars, we mean meteors, which are not stars at all, but tiny scraps of matter which come in from outer space and get burned up in our atmosphere as they tear through. Larger meteors or fireballs sometimes leave a trail, like a jet plane's, which may last for many minutes. If you happened to be in the vicinity of a fireball, you would hear a clap like thunder as the meteor rushed through the air. Occasionally, pieces of burned material can be picked up on the ground. They are meteorites, lumps of rough stone or iron. Every museum has samples of such meteorites. On a dark, clear night, you ought to count about 1 shooting star every 5 or 10 minutes. At certain times of the year, you will see many more. This happens when the Earth meets the remains of some bygone comet, whose dust may cause the appearance of whole swarms of meteors. Good times for meteor swarms are July 29th to August the 18th, November the 14th to 19th, and December 8th to the 15th. The constellations. Certain patterns of bright stars, called so conspicuous that even city dwellers cannot fail to see them. The brightest is Orion, the great hunter. The 3 bright stars in a row mark his belt, from which hangs his sword made up of fainter stars. Orion is followed by his dogs. Here you cannot miss Sirius, the dog star, which is the very brightest star in the sky and also one of the nearest to us. The distances of stars are so great that it would be senseless to express them in the units used in our everyday life. Instead, distances in the universe are reckoned in light years, a light year being the distance which light travels in 1 year. Since the speed of light is 186,000 miles a second, a light year amounts to almost 6 million miles. The distance separating neighbouring stars is roughly a few light years. Sirius is 9 light years away, a short distance considering that most stars are hundreds and even thousands of light years away. The spring sky. As winter passes, Orion and its neighbouring constellations drift out of sight and others come into view. Summer approaches with the appearance of the Lion. On late spring evenings, this constellation stands in the south and right in front of us. The head and 4 legs of the Lion look like a sickle with a brilliant star called Regulus at the bottom. East of the Lion is the Virgin with its bright star Spica. Another conspicuous star is Arcturus, the brightest in the constellation of the Herdsman. First trace the great bird, and following the direction of its tail downwards, you will find it leads to Arcturus. As you look around the sky, you will notice distinct differences in colour between stars. Arcturus has a yellow tinge, Spica and Regulus are bluish white. The differences in colour arise from differences in temperature. The blue ones are hotter than those with red or yellow hues. Telescopes. Individual stars are generally disappointing sights when viewed through a telescope. Even the nearest of them are so distant they look no bigger than bright dots. However large the instrument, for observing the stars, the telescope is not intended as a magnifier, but as a light collector. A telescope of, say, 6 inches in diameter has a light receiving area 500 times greater than a human eye. Stars look that much brighter when seen through it. Stars which are too faint to be seen at all with the naked eye can show up through a telescope, and the larger the telescope, the more stars can be seen. Starlight collected by large modern telescopes is often studied with special equipment, such as a photometer, which measures brightness, or a spectroscope, which separates the light into its various rainbow colours or its spectrum. The spectrum tells us what materials a star is made of and also how hot it is. All stars are similar to the Sun, though they vary considerably in size, temperature and light-giving power. Double stars. The sky contains many stars which, though appearing no different from their neighbours when seen with the naked eye, turns out to be double when viewed through the telescope. In these stars, the 2 members revolve around each other continually, just as the Earth revolves around the Sun. The star, Beta Cygni, in the constellation of the Swan, is a double star which can easily be seen as a pair with a small telescope. The bright star Castor, in the constellation of the Twins, is also double, so is the pole star. Often the 2 stars in a double star are so close together